Hi, it's Lee from colouringqueen.net, and first up, it's been a while, so I do want to make sure that I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Valentine's Day, and any other celebration or festivity I might have missed in the last few months. It's been a hectic time here, and I'll let you know what we've been up to and why life has been hectic for me. But first of all, I do want to show you a few things that I've received over the Christmas break and things that I ordered and things that were given to me. So first of all, I want to show you what I got in a Secret Santa Sister. Now, if you're on Facebook, you might have seen the Secret Santa Sister event going around, basically asking people, 6 people sign up and you refer 6 people, basically like a pyramid scheme or whatnot, and you're each meant to receive all these gifts at Christmas. Now, I signed up for this because a friend of mine was organising it, and I didn't expect to receive any gifts, to be honest. I just like buying something for somebody else, and I've always, liked choosing gifts, etc., more than actually receiving them. So I didn't expect to actually receive any gift whatsoever, but I did. I certainly didn't receive 6 gifts. I received the 1 gift from the one lady, and I was absolutely wrapped with that. And unfortunately, the gift that I ordered, this is the first time it's ever happened to me. I actually knew the person that I was set up with as the Secret Santa Sister, and I knew her sense of humour. I've met her in person as well as on Facebook, and I've known her for years. So knowing her sense of humour, I sought out and spent like 2 weeks trying to find the perfect gift for her, and bought it off Etsy from a shop in Canada. It has been stuck in transit since November 25th last year. So it's February 19th or something now, 20th maybe, when I'm filming this. And unfortunately, I've had to open an Etsy case in order to actually get the seller to correspond with me and actually resend the item. So that's a bit disappointing, and it's my first negative Etsy experience ever. And unfortunately, it has to be with somebody's Christmas gift, which is a real worry. But anyway, hopefully that will be resolved and she will get not a Christmas gift for 2018, but she'll get a gift sometime in 2019. And hopefully it'll give her a laugh. The lady that was paired up with me, I have no idea who she is, but she sent me these gorgeous little Christmas decorations. They're little gnomes and stuff, or cute little snowmen, and they're super cute. They're really cute. So little fabric figures, and they're very cute. There's 3 of them, little moose, and look, these are gorgeous. And I've got other Christmas decorations that this will work with. Now, I don't think any of you will be surprised to know that I collect Christmas decorations, so I've got all sorts of different colours and whatnot. But what is amusing to me is that we don't actually have a Christmas tree at the moment. So anyway, when we get a Christmas tree, we'll have to put these ones on it. So they're very cute, little fluffy little gnome, little snowman, little moosey. Maybe that's meant to be Santa. I don't know. It's very cute. She also sent me this coaster, which is Leanne, which is my full real name. As most people know, I absolutely detest the full name. Unfortunately, I have to use it because if I went, with my full name and my last name, it makes another word, which is weird. She didn't know me, so she probably doesn't realise how much I hate that. I'm going to just washi tape over the bit that I don't like. And it says it's from the English, a compound of Lee meaning wood, so wood is fine, and Anne meaning grace. So maybe that's why I don't like it. I have 0 grace. It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode with Elaine in it, for those of you that watch Seinfeld. No grace. Honest and caring, loves to help others. So, yeah, I think that's fair enough, but we'll ditch that bit, and I'm going to be very happy with that. Get the washi tape out and give it a little makeover, I think. So that was all from the one lady. I got some gorgeous Christmas cards as well. And I do have some others, but they're non-colouring related, so they were from colouring people. And I bought myself something for Christmas. What a surprise. Now, this is the Czech edition of Clara's latest colouring book, Fairy Miracles. Now, I already had the English edition because Clara was very kind enough to send it to me, and I gave away one copy of that, but I love having the Czech edition as well, so I thought, well, I'll buy that while it's available, and so I can have that one as my art book and this one as my colouring book. And I actually haven't used this one at all because I was waiting for this one to come through so that I could allow myself to use the English edition, which has been terrible looking at all the pictures and going, I want to open it. Now, it's exactly the same. It's only the title that's different, so I won't show you. It's only the title that's in the Czech edition language and on the spine, but it's something that I started when Clara's first book came out, and now I can't let go. The other things that I received for Christmas was from a lovely lady. I've never met her in person, but she is just wonderful, and she sent me this lovely Korean card with 2019 on it. It's probably got something on there that I can't read, but she's an absolute lovely lady. Now, I couldn't believe it, but she sent me a book that I don't have, and it is just stunning. It's a Chinese book called Bird and Fish, and I'll put the link to it below. This is stunning. My partner is just so in love with this. When David seen it, he was like, oh my God. So it's all hardback and it's got glossy paper. Now just stick around, this will get good. We've got like a table of contents in the beginning, and then we've got all this beautiful coloured artwork, which is just drop dead. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, on this side, we've got the picture that you can colour in. Now, the only perceived problem is, and I haven't tested this out, but the liner is on a glossy paper, so I'm not sure how it's going to go with all mediums, and I haven't tested it out because I've had other things, but, you know, isn't this beautiful? Just stunning artwork. And then we've got this gorgeous illustration there on the side. It's just beautiful. And not only that, it comes with these amazing posters as well. So I'm going to actually flip through this, or the most of it, probably just halfway. I'll show you the posters, but I will do it a full flip through because it really deserves it. It is just stunning, 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 stunning. Like, look at this one, isn't it gorgeous? So I'll probably leave it maybe about here. So here are the posters that come with it. Oh, the other items. So this was just a like craft paper notebook, and it's from Bird and Fish, so it's just to do your own work, but it does have that lovely line art on it on the toned paper on the cover. Then we've got these gorgeous postcards. Oh, look at how beautiful they are. Like, these are just stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. So you could send those away to people if you liked them enough to be worthy of one of these gorgeous pieces of artwork. And then we have this gorgeous poster. And isn't this absolutely stunning? It's just gorgeous. I can't fit it all full in screen, but look at this down the bottom. We've got the beautiful fish. Gorgeous. Now, it is incredibly thick. So, let's give you a quick flippy down there. But look at the size of it. It is thick. And it is just stunning. So I can't tell you how thrilled I was to receive that. It was so unexpected and it's just an amazing thrill. And then I also received this gorgeous book from a member of my colouring group, which is just stunning. I've wanted this book for so long. I think it came out in 2016, The Velveteen Rabbit. And of course, you know, it's a bunny, so I had to have it. Now, I'm probably one of the few people that's never read this story. I didn't actually know what this story was about because I've never heard of this fairy tale before. So I don't know if I've had a deprived childhood or what the situation is. But so, of course, I had to read the little story that went with it. But I wanted it because of the bunny rabbit on the cover. And when it first came out, I was incredibly sick at that time, and although I had a lot of books on order, I didn't order this one because I'd already ordered others and I was too sick to review them. And I've got to say, still 2.5 years later, many of those I still haven't reviewed. So I didn't want to add to the trauma, but every time I see this book on Amazon, I just wish that I had it, and so I put it on my Amazon wish list, and I was incredibly lucky and very grateful that someone actually bought it for me for Christmas, and that was a member of our colouring group. Don't know if she wants me to name her or not. I'm never sure on those things, so, but isn't it just beautiful? And look at all the bunnies, it's just divine. I love this one with all the little bunnies in it. It's just gorgeous. It really is. And it makes up for that awful Watership Down book that I really didn't fancy at all. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, but isn't it gorgeous? So it's by the wonderful Charles Santor. So I wish he'd have a crack at Watership Down because, you know, seeing his bunnies just really makes me wish he'd do Watership Down as well. So they're the lovely gifts that I received for Christmas. Now, we didn't actually have a Christmas this year, so this is what I've been up to. As many people know, we moved from Sydney to Brisbane last year. What most people don't know is in the week leading up to our move, when we'd already packed up and sort of had nowhere to live anymore and had quit our jobs, we found out that David's father was seriously ill. And that was a bit of a shock because although he'd had a run with bowel cancer, he'd recovered from that, you know, in like a day type thing. He'd had surgery, it was successful, and he was home within like 2 days. And he's one of those guys that was never sick at all, you know. So to find out that he wasn't well, that was quite heartbreaking. And so we stuck around in Sydney. Although we'd packed up, we'd moved, we'd had the removalists in, and we had nothing but what was in the car and nowhere to live. I actually had to go and get Airbnb accommodation to stay in Sydney. We wanted to stay to hear what the specialist had to say on the prognosis. And so we stuck around in Sydney for a week, and also David's father wanted to be able to see all of his kids and his grandkids together. So David has 2 other brothers as well. He's the eldest, and so we had a little event there so that everyone could be together and whatnot. And at that stage, there was treatment available, surgery or radiation, and the surgeons didn't want to do the surgery because of his age, that he might not, recover from that. But, ultimately had the radiation, which wasn't successful. Ultimately, they had to do emergency surgery anyway. So David had wanted to stay in Sydney, but we were committed to move to Brisbane. We'd actually bought a house here and it wasn't ready to move into for 6 weeks or so, but we had nowhere to live in Sydney. So it was a real sort of terrible transition period moving here. And then when we moved, we had no internet and we'd bought a hoarder's house. So the place just stunk and it was just so full of rubbish and whatnot. It took us 3 weeks to actually, be able to live in here and whatnot. So in the meantime, David had been travelling to Sydney to see his father, and unfortunately he was progressively getting worse, and ultimately we wanted to be there for his father, and so we decided to move back to Sydney. And we didn't know how long that would be for, whether it would be, days, weeks, months. These things can never be predicted. But ultimately, it was about a month that we moved back to Sydney. I think we were in Sydney for about 3 hours before his dad was taken to palliative care. So I won't go on about it, but what he went through, I would never wish on anybody. So then we had to obviously settle his mum and take care of the legal arrangements and the banking arrangements, and she had never done that sort of stuff before, so we had to help her and help her get adjusted to her new life without her partner of 55 years. So a bit hard and, lots of emotions and whatnot. But when we moved back to Brisbane, it was absolutely unbelievably hot here. David can cope with it, but I tell you, I can't. I am just a mess of sweat and miserable in the heat. So we got air conditioning installed, which was fabulous, but unfortunately we couldn't run it because we were doing a lot of sanding and plastering, etc., so it'd get all caught in the filters. So it was, really uncomfortable, and because I was running so many fans, I couldn't film because it would affect the audio. And then once we got the aircon installed, unfortunately, when I tested the audio to do filming, it was really bad. The acoustics were terrible and you could hear a lot of external noise coming through, which is the complaint that I'd had previously. So my darling is just incredible. So I guess fortunately he had to leave his job and I don't have a job in Brisbane. So I guess fortunately, I don't know. I guess we've got to look at the positives. He's not employed at the moment because he had to leave his job to go down and be with his father, and unfortunately there hasn't been any work since we've come back to Brisbane, so it's a bit tight and miserable, and thankfully I haven't bought anything since December, so thankfully I haven't seen anything that I really must have either. Fortunately David had this time, so what he did was, he's just the best. He took out all the plaster from the room that I use here for filming, and he insulated all the walls, and he's in the process of insulating the ceilings as well, but so he put some acoustic insulation in there to make it better for me so that I don't get so much external noise, because we're located sort of a block from a school and we're on the corner, so we get a lot of passing traffic. So he did all of that so that I could get better acoustics here, which is just fantastic. So wonderful, wonderful guy. And he's actually allergic to the insulation stuff, so he's had to get up in like one of those all-in protective gears in the sweltering heat to do all of that and then put it all back together, because we were never planning to take the walls down or the ceilings down and things like that, but ultimately we have, because just to improve the acoustics and the insulation here. So unplanned, but hopefully it's worth it. So while we were in Sydney and in this process of renovating and whatnot, I've received lots of books, but this is my first opportunity to actually review them, and it's the first time I've actually had a desk and whatnot, so this is all very exciting. So the first one that I got was, in no particular order here, There's the Alice in Wonderland Make Your Own Masterpiece. Now, I previously reviewed another one from this Make Your Own Masterpiece, and I think it was Cinderella. I could be wrong. But they're really thick books, and they've got some great pictures in them. Fold out cover. And still getting used to the lighting and whatnot in here. I'll probably change this arrangement, but at the moment I'm not quite sure what to do to get used to the space, because this room is actually a third of the size of what I'm used to, so I've had to make some changes which I'll tell you about in a minute. So it's printed on this lovely off-white paper. Double-sided illustrations. We've got the white rabbit over here. Now, I will review this in more detail. I'm just showing you basically what's in here. So nice single-sided illustrations, really good quality paper. It's very smooth, off-white, and it's got the illustrations that you would expect, but there's not a lot of detail in them as far as shading goes, because it's all more of this cross-hatching that they use for their texture. So in some parts it's got like a vintagey feel, and then in some parts it has a sort of more contemporary feel. Now, there are a lot of illustrations that I really like in this book, but there are some that don't take my fancy at all. But at the moment there's more that I like than don't like, so I'm happy enough with that. So it's just a quick little view of the pages. There's quite a lot in here, so I'll give it a full review at some stage. So there's Alice. Now, the lovely people at Colouring Heaven sent me through the Momo Girl special, and like seriously, if you love artists like Momo Girl, it's really worthwhile subscribing to Colouring Heaven, because finding them in the shops is often difficult. Like this one has already sold out, I believe, so you've got to be in quick, and the best way to sort of, I think, of ensuring that you're going to get the one that you want is to actually either buy it from Anthem or subscribe, and then you get it every month. Here in Australia, there's not that many places to get it from. Big W often have it, but it comes out like, you know, a good 6 weeks after everyone else has got it. So this is the Momo Girl one. I will flip through that in more detail, but they have sold out of this issue. Now this is a little book from Japan on dragons, and it's one of those magazines that you might have seen me review different books that are in that sort of magazine theme. They call them magazines. They're lovely books. This one's a dragon-based one. We've got the lovely little lucky kitty there, and all these gorgeous coloured thumbnails inside. And these are really quite cheap compared to the price of the normal Japanese colouring books. I'll leave the link down below. Now, Australians, we're still blocked from Amazon Japan, but you can get it from other sources. I'll leave a few links below. So we've got the lovely perforated pages, and then the line art on really thick, toothy paper. And these are great for their paper. It's really good quality. So the little dragon colouring book. Now this is a special collector's edition of the Cat Chips cat. Now I absolutely adore this kitty cat. So when I seen that they were coming out with a boxed edition of the books, I had to have it because I just adore this kitty cat, I really do. So it's in a box, it's a little bit hard to open. I had it open before, but let's see if I can do it again without ripping everything apart. Actually, I've forgotten, it doesn't even open that way, you've got to open it that way. So I've reviewed these books before, you've seen them. The Cat Travelling Diary. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this book. It's just so incredibly cute. And then the second book, which came out last year. So cute. And I've reviewed this one before when it came out. It's just adorable. And then this one comes with the 24 coloured pencils, which a nice little package cover on it. But look, I don't expect much from the pencils, to be honest. We'll see what the pigment's like on them, but actually they're not bad. They're okay. I'd sort of class them as like W.H. Smith or something like that. If you didn't have any pencils, you know, they're fine. But they're a little bonus with the actual colouring books, so they're not high-end pencils by any means. They've got no branding on them whatsoever and come pre-sharpened. But it'd make a lovely gift for people that do love this particular kitty cat. So now I've got the beautiful Mysteria, and this is just stunning. It's personally signed over there, so nice little autograph on it. Look at this cover page, it's absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous paper, which is white, medium quality. Now, I'm sure most people have already seen this book. I will flip through it at another stage just so that I have a full record of all my books on YouTube. But, you know, I'm sure most people have already seen it. But it is just stunning. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's really weird this last Christmas for us because we never had a Christmas tree or any celebrations or anything given what was happening with David's family. So we actually had Christmas lunch, you won't believe this. We had McDonald's, and I actually don't really like McDonald's that much. These came with one of the books that I ordered, and I can't remember which one it was, but they were just little gifts from Cool Craft Book, and she always puts in like a little extra for you. So this is like an Apopple, I can never pronounce her name, a little postcard and some cute little stickers, and they came with one of the things that I'd ordered from Moon. Now this is a Chinese colouring book, and it is just stunning. I pre-ordered this, and it's just gorgeous, thick paper, and it's off-white, and it's full of these gorgeous grayscale images. It is just absolutely stunning. Now, this reminds me a bit of the Polish artist, the one that did Imaginary Friends and Ticket to Dreams, Karolina Kubiakowski. I can't quite remember. I'm having a mental blank today, but it reminds me a bit of her artwork, images like this one, but these are just stunning. They're just absolutely beautiful. Now, I will flip through this at a later stage because it's such a big book that it does deserve its own little video to go with it. Now, it does come with 2 posters as well. Now, we've got this one with the lovely little kitty cat on it, which folds out, and it's 4 sections that it folds out in. So it's quite different. We've got like anime, manga characters, then this creepy skeleton overlooking it, and these other characters as well, like the Lucky Charm kitty. So it's very, very different compared to the rest of the book. Then we've got the poster, which is huge, and it has all the coloured thumbnails from the book. And when I show you the spine on this book, it's huge. So I know overseas colouring books are incredibly expensive depending on where you are in the world, but the size of this book, if you like that type of artwork, I think tends to justify the price, because I'd rather have one lovely book than a pile of so-so books, if you know what I mean. And this one comes with all those gorgeous thumbnails of what's inside. So absolutely stunning book. Now check out the size of it. Look how thick it is. Look. There it is up against my nail, or up against a pen lid. It's really thick. It's way thicker than most colouring books, and it's quite heavy. So it's sort of on the sizing of maybe Fairy Tales or Fairy Miracles by Clara, even though it's not a hardback. So it's absolutely stunning. I love that. I'm so glad I pre-ordered that, and I haven't run out of books. Now here's the beautiful Momo Girls Girl with Music, which of course came, you know, while we were away in Sydney. And Moon always puts in these lovely little extras. She's so beautiful that way. There's a couple of little stickers and this lovely little package. Now I'm sure everyone has seen Girl with Music, but again, I will review it just so that I always have a record of the books that I have in my collection. God, aren't these just beautiful? So stunning. Now, Girl with Music comes with 36 songs, and there's an app that you can download, and you get a coupon with that to download the app, so for 6 months. So I'll have to look more into that, and that's Momo Girl's actual business card as well. So she has the most stunning artwork. These are the pictures that we just seen on the postcards. So just like her first book, she's got the coloured inspirational images, the song over here, and then the absolutely stunning artwork over on the other side. She's an amazing talent. They're just beautiful, and such a gorgeous mix of different pictures, etc. So absolutely rapt that I got the beautiful Girl with Music. I wish it had come before we left for Sydney so I could have shown you earlier, but that's life. And I also treated myself to Momo Girl's colouring tutorial book, which I know I'm not going to be able to read, but I have full confidence in my Scan and Translate app that I might be able to work out what she's saying. So this tutorial book accompanies Momo Girl's first book, Girl with Poem, and luckily for me I have 2 editions of Girl with Poem plus the Colouring Heaven magazine issue to practice these steps. But even if I didn't have those, this also comes with illustrations to practice on. So these are 19 for memory of the most popular images, and she basically teaches you how to colour them the way that she does. Now that's not to say her way is the only way. Of course you can colour them however you fancy, but she's just showing you how to get the look that she's got. And I find it very useful. I wish it was in English, but you know, you can't have everything, can you? So see how the way she builds up these layers. I'm not going to show you every page, just so that you can see what she's doing. Look at that detail. Just stunning. But she is an amazing talent. We're so lucky to have these artists like Momo Girl in the colouring community. So aren't they gorgeous? And it looks like she's not using fancy pencils there at all. She's got markers there, normal pencils, some cheapy markers and Copics as well. So it's amazing the work that goes into, building up a picture to be this stunning. Now sometimes you don't want to do that, you just want a solid colour or whatever, it's up to you. But I think I will enjoy this book. I think it's going to take me a while to figure out what it is I'm meant to do though, but I think it'll be worthwhile. And as I said, there's the pictures in here to work from if you don't have Girl with Poem. Or if you've got that Colouring Heaven magazine, you could practice in there as well. So it's not the whole Girl with Poem, it's just the 19 most popular pictures. Now, I suspect, I don't know, but I suspect that if she's done this with Girl with Poem, that maybe she'll do it with Girl with Music as well, which would be great. Now, this is another little one that I got from Korea. And it's only a little tiny tot, it's only a little baby, and it's a little goblin colouring book. So we've got coloured images at the front, and then we've got the line art over here, and it's really quite thick and sturdy, and the paper is lovely. It's smooth, but it's actually quite heavy. It's like cardstock, and it's quite sturdy and heavy. So nice little one. I think it'll actually fit in my handbag if I want to take it with me on the run. I don't know, I might. So I think it's one of the only Korean colouring books that I've got that's actually small. So there's Red Riding Hood. Most of them are usual standard colouring book size of 10 by 10 or something, but this one's actually quite small, so I will go through it in detail later, but that's just to show you now. And it also came with, I got it from the link below, also came with some little postcards, etc., some coloured and some line art. So I love getting those little treats. I got some more books, so don't go away. So I got the Disney colouring book, which is absolutely gorgeous. Very cute. We've got our Alice, our Mickey and Minnie. We've got them all. At the beginning you'll find some little tips and steps like we always have in these types of books. There's a little pattern lesson on making your own little Zentangle type shapes. If you don't want to do that, you just don't. And then we've got our line art. So this one, it basically says, here's your line art, but if you want to tart it up a bit, you can colour it this way, you can add little patterns, you can add detail and decoration around the side, and they give you the example there, and they give you examples on how to do those little patterns and decorations, so how to make up the clouds or feathers, etc., or Mickey Mouse's head, etc., all with different little patterns on it. So there she is plain, and there she is with some pattern. So it's a nice different little concept for a Disney book. Usually they're giving us colouring tips or painting lessons, as they call them. So nice to have something different. Now we might see a little bit of disruption because my dog is here and he is playing with the light cord. So it's been very disruptive for him, all the moving back and forwards and moving up and down stairs while we renovate different areas, and moving from Brisbane and Sydney to Brisbane. Yeah, it's been very disruptive for him, so I'm just pleased that he's happy, and if he wants to play with the light cord, I'm just going to let him, and we'll just let him go. So our very different Disney pattern colouring book. So this one I wasn't too sure about ordering. I tossed and turned about whether I would actually buy it or not. And, you know, the reason for the tossing and turning is that I haven't had a job since like last July. So, you know, like most people, and with David unemployed as well, have to be very careful with the pennies, even more so. So I didn't know whether I would get it or not, so I'm actually really glad that I did get it, because I think it's probably one of my faves. It's just different, and I like that about it. It's Japanese, it's mandalas, you know, it's smooth off-white paper, and the patterns are very simple, they're not complex, and I think it's just going to be fun to colour in. I really do. So we've got lion and lovely little patterns there. So we'll go through it in a bit more detail later, but I really like the simplicity of it, and it's simple designs, but there is quite a bit of detail in each image, but it's not overwhelming, if you know what I mean. And I like the way they've been arranged within their own borders. This one sort of has a Picasso feel to it, and yeah, I'm pleased that I got this one and took a chance on it. So that's that lovely little Japanese one. Now this is one of my favourite artists, Miki Takai, who does the Colours Make You Happy, and if I just even look at one of her covers of anything, I feel happy. So this is her latest little postcard book. We've got the gorgeous little thumbnails. This one's from Japan again, and the links as always are below the video. And just like her previous postcard book, we've got the coloured postcard and then the line art underneath. Now, if you're a nice person, you might be able to part with one of the bunny rabbits or llamas, but you know me, it's just not going to happen. I'm just going to keep these all selfishly for myself and just enjoy them. I mean, she just does such beautiful artwork. I just love it. It just makes me smile. So, aren't they good? Oh, they're just gorgeous. Look at the koala bears. Oh, they're just gorgeous. So, Mickey's latest postcard book. Then the Disney Girls, the Flowers Special Edition. So, this one's on white paper, and it's medium quality. It's not as thick as the paper in the other books that I've shown you today from Japan, but it's reasonably thick. Now it does have a lot of sort of filler pages. We've gone through a couple already, and pages like this doesn't appeal to me at all. It might appeal to somebody, but not me. And then we've got some really detailed pictures, so it's a bit of a mixture. We've got gorgeous little Winnie Pooh, which is lovely. So there's pictures in this one that I really like, and there's pictures that kind of have a bit of a filler feel to them, and they don't really make me that happy, but most of them I like. Some of them I could take or leave, and yeah. I think that's the way with a lot of these Disney books that are collaborative, like there's a few different artists working on them. These things can be cut out so that you can make your own little shapes or paper cutouts, etc. So we'll have a look at that one in more detail at a later stage, but it is a lovely book. I just wish they didn't put so many filler patterny pages in it. And these are the Disney Girls that are featured in it. Then we've got the Dragons Special by Anastasia. Now she's the same lady that I showed you the Mysteria book, and she did the beautiful Dragons colouring book that I've shown you previously but not done a full review on. Now her Dragons colouring book is extremely expensive, so getting the Colouring Heaven edition, where you're getting the same quality of beautiful illustrations, but you're getting it in a magazine format. So the paper's not as good as in Anastasia's book, but you get to enjoy the illustration that you might not have been able to get from the book, because some of those books are out of the price range for a lot of colorists. So this is a good way of getting those. But I've said it before, with Colouring Heaven, you have to either subscribe or buy it straight from their website, unless you're in the UK where it's more available, because otherwise they sell out and you're just going to find it very difficult to get the issue. But this is, I think, about the quarter of the cost of the actual book on Dragons by Anastasia. So definitely worth getting if you don't already have that book and you like dragons. Now this is from Emily Jerish Secuems, the French artist illustrator. And she has a YouTube channel where she does the most amazing paintings. They're just beautiful. She's got a really different style about her. Now, this is Emily's second colouring book, and you can get this in either watercolour paper or cardstock. So Emily actually sent this one to me, and she asked me, which one would you like? And I said, I'm going to take the watercolour book. So this one's on watercolour, spiral bound. Emily actually prints these up and posts them out herself. She doesn't have anyone to do that for her, and she actually does this all herself. So I love Emily's artwork. If you're in my colouring group, you'll know that we used a lot of Emily's bookmarks as little gifts over Christmas, which I bought from Emily's Etsy store, which I'll put a link to below. And they were just such gorgeous little Christmas gifts. I should have actually bought one for myself. They're just so beautiful, but luckily I've got the book. Now, beautifully packaged as always, and this is her little thank you card that just dropped out of the book. Now, I will do a full review on this, but this paper is so thick. It's going to be great for watercolours. I wish I could colour the way that Emily does. I really do. Have a look at her YouTube videos. She is just amazing. So the illustrations are both horizontal and portrait style, and it's spiral bound. And as I said, you've got the choice of paper, so that is hugely important, because some people like markers, some actually prefer watercolours on these books. So we'll do a full flip through of this one in the next couple of days, and I'll put the link below where you can buy it. Until next time, happy colouring.